I'd like to do kind of a no nonsense, just notes. How are we going to get our notes all set up? So put your video on pause, copy all this down, please, in your math notebook. Hey, thanks for doing that. The lateral area is the sides and not the bases. Okay, so we're going to kind of look at our objects that we have today as ones that have two bases, like a top and a bottom. And this one has a circle for a top and a bottom. This one's a cylinder, right? This one's called a prism. This one only has one base, and the lateral edges come to a point up here. This is called the vertex. There is a lot of information on these problems. So if it comes to a vertex like this, one single spot, then we know that we have a pyramid or a cone. So this is our pyramid, this is our cone, this is our prism, this is our cylinder, right? And we're going to try to find the lateral area, which just means the area of the sides. Area of sides. And I'm going to tell you the formula. And in class, I'll show you some drawings to help us understand those formulas, okay? All these formulas that I show you. So the area of the sides is called the lateral area, and we often abbreviate it as LA for lateral area. You need to know the perimeter of the base. So let me highlight that in red. So the perimeter of the base is like that side, that side, that side, that side right there. Those are the sides of the base. That's called the perimeter. So P stands for, let's put that in our notes, perimeter of the base. Just one of them. You don't have to add both perimeters because there are two bases, right? You only need one perimeter. Then you take that times the height. And the height, because the bases are parallel to each other, the height is going to be going perpendicularly. It's one of these lateral edges. This is called a lateral edge right here. So that is also the height, okay? Height. So we need to know the height, we need to know the perimeter of the base, and we multiply them together. So right over here in our formula, we need perimeter times height. Okay, the surface area is just the lateral area plus the two bases. So I'm going to put down 2, and I'm going to use a capital B for base, okay? And we abbreviate that with SA for surface area. Surface area includes the top and the bottom. So if the top and the bottom are squares, then you would multiply one dimension times the other dimension, and that would give you the area of that base, and then you'd multiply that by 2. So I'm going to try a homework problem with you. The first problem that we're going to see in homework has 12 right here, has 10 right here, and then for the height, it has 12. So over here, it's got H equals 12. All right. So the perimeter, let's see, the perimeter is going to equal 12 plus 10 plus there's a 12 back here, right? Plus 10 over here. Now, if you need decimals for that, go for it. But 10 and 12 makes 22. Then 12 more would be 34 plus 10 more would be 44. I hope I got that right. So that's 44. Okay. So for let's organize this. My lateral area is going to equal the perimeter of the base, 44, times the height. Where the heck is the height? Oh, yeah, the height was 12. So then you just multiply that out on Desmos, right? I don't know. What's that come out to be? 440 plus 88 more is going to be, oh boy, 440. It's going to be like 528 maybe. That's a pretty, oh shoot. That's a pretty in my head type guess there. So hopefully you can double check that on Desmos and let me know if I get that right. I just looked over for the units in my problem, and these are all in yards, right? So our area is going to be in square yards. All right. That's how we find the lateral area. Now, what do we need to do for the surface area? Well, we're going to add the two bases. So we're going to go 528 plus 10 times 12. So the area of the base, let's do area of the base is going to equal 10 times 12, which is 120. See, there's 120 square yards up here, and there's 120 square yards down there. So that makes a total of 240. So I'm going to add 240 to it. Now, look, if we mess up the lateral area, the surface area is going to be messed up, right? So if I mess this number up, you got to fix that. So that's going to be 768 square yards. Square yards. Okay, so how do the formulas change down here? Well, honestly, they kind of change significantly. There's some that's going to look a little bit similar. We need the perimeter, but this time we don't want the height of the object. The height of the object goes from here and it goes straight up to the vertex. This is our height. What we want is something called the slant height. Let me change into red here. It's going to start at one of the midpoints of the side, and it's going to go straight up to the top vertex. Okay, so that's called our slant height, L. Okay, and I'm looking at the homework problems, and yes, that's the slant height is going to be the same no matter where you are. Now, in this object, the slant height would not be the same because it looks like a rectangular base, but all the bases in your homework are going to be regular polygons. So every single little slant height is going to be identical in your problem. So don't worry about like, oh, wait, this one's different, that one's different. If they're different, then it's a much more complicated situation. So we're going to take 1/2 this time because we got triangles instead of rectangles. So we're going to take 1/2 perimeter of the base. The P still stands for perimeter. So perimeter of base. And then we're going to take it times the slant height, L. Okay. Now, hey, look, I didn't really talk about the cylinder up here. Well, what's the difference in the perimeter of the base? Well, it's going to be the circumference. So P is going to equal the circumference in this object, right? Circumference. And it's going to be the same for this one down here. P is equal to C, right? C, that's the circumference, is usually what we abbreviate that with C. That's pi times diameter, right? So to find the circumference